Yes, hello everyone. Good morning. I hope we slept well. So before we begin, I think we have Edilson Osorio Junior on the line, and
Yes.
you are welcome, Edilson, to GhanaSIG. We are glad to have you. You've been with us since the inception, and I still remember your lecture as a fellow in 2020. So it's great having you, and we appreciate your time and your efforts and whatever you've done for the fellows.
Thank you
So
very much.
Edilson is the CEO of Originlmy, and he's going to speak on the topic blockchain and its application in e-governance. So he is a founder, computer scientist, teacher, information security and infrastructure specialist, graduated in copyright at Harvard Law School, convener of security, privacy, and identity representation, ABNT Brazil, ISO TC 30307, blockchain and distribution ledger technology. He is a member of the EU Blockchain Observatory and Forum. He is the author of How, the first open source protocol for secret e-voting on public blockchains. And number one most important and influential personality in blockchain and cryptocurrency in Brazil. So may we welcome Edilson Osorio Junior with a clap.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the presentation. And it's my pleasure being here another year. And it's an amazing experience and sharing information about this topic because it's something I'm working for more than 10 years right now. I started on Bitcoin on 2011. So it's a long time ago. And I built the first company in Brazil about blockchain. And my thing is governance, e-governance, with all the tools and services we are providing. It's like if you heard something about Estonia, now I'm based in Estonia, and everything is digital. Since for opening a company or opening bank accounts or providing the services, the state services, everything is digital over here. 99% of the services are digital here in Estonia. And it's interesting because I can learn a lot with Estonia, apply on my tools, and deliver better products to other like Brazil and other places. So I will share my screen now. Let me find here. Tell me if you can see my presentation. Let me know if it's shared, it's okay.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, good. So let's start it. On the very beginning of our presentation today, I'd like to ask you to download a Bitcoin app named Blink on your smartphones, because at the end of this presentation, I have a small surprise for you. So download this app. The name is Blink. The link you can see in the screen at blink.sv. They are based in San Salvador, the capital, the country who adopted Bitcoin as a legal currency over there. And Blink is providing a lot of services on Bitcoin, even for the market. Like if you have a small commerce, you can use Blink to receive Bitcoin as payment on your company, for example. And it's pretty easy to install. Just install, validate your phone number, I checked if Ghana is over there and it's listed in, so everything is fine. Just put your phone, validate your phone, and it's ready to go to the end of, in the end of this presentation, we'll talk more about that. And the second app I would like to recommend you to download is MetaMask. MetaMask is an Ethereum wallet. Probably is one of the best Ethereum wallets today. And if you want to receive a POAP, a proof of participation NFT of this workshop today, I will need you to send me your Ethereum address. So if you don't have an Ethereum address, install MetaMask, get your address, and fill the form I will present in the end of this presentation today, okay? So both Blink wallet for Bitcoin and MetaMask for Ethereum. If you have any other wallet, it's fine. It's just for this presentation. So the agenda for this presentation, we'll talk about what is a blockchain, what makes a blockchain a blockchain. We'll talk about how it works as a protocol. We'll take a look on some use cases and examples. So in the very beginning, what is a blockchain? Blockchain started because of a problem we have with cash. Then how it evolved? In the past, we used it as money, many different things. We used animals, we used gems, we used gold, salt, and then paper coins. One of the characteristics of the money, it should be scarce and hard to fraud. And that's a problem on our actual money. It's not scarce, and many people is frauding the money. Another thing, it should be portable. And money gives you an exchange to right. An exchange right to do transactions. Then today, money is central controlled. The emission is central controlled. It's controlled by governments. They decide what they do with our money. If they want to print more money, they just print more money and cause inflation. And we need to rely on intermediaries to build trust. We need to trust, we need to use banks, we need to use fintechs, we need to use other companies in this ecosystem. And then we had the crash in 2009. The economy in the United States, it influenced the economy in many countries around the world because something they did bad. And a guy in 2008, well, the crash started in 2008 and 2009. Then this guy, Satoshi Nakamoto, we don't know who he is, but he wrote a paper. And that paper presented to the world a new kind of money, a digital could work. And then Bitcoin was born. And what is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is an electronic cash, traditional, equivalent to the traditional currency. It's storable on internet or on your computers. It's pretty scarce. We'll have just 21 million Bitcoins when it finished mining. It's peer-to-peer. It respects your privacy for transactions. Bitcoin don't need intermediaries. It rewards the efforts of securing the network, and it's consensual. Everything is consensual. If there is a consensus in the network, something happens. If there's no consensus, nothing happens in Bitcoin. Today, with the size of the network, it's pretty hard to achieve consensus. That's why Bitcoin doesn't change much, because there's no one in charge, and everything should have consensus. Then for implementing new tools, new functionalities, new features on Bitcoin is pretty hard because of that. And it's not easy. Definitely is not easy changing Bitcoin protocol. If there's a bug or an issue or an error, then it's easy because it should be solved. Then achieving things, new features, and opening new doors on Bitcoin is pretty hard. And it takes like years of discussions to change something over there because no one is in charge and consensus is essential for this network. Then what is the blockchain? The blockchain is the infrastructure where Bitcoin relies. So Satoshi Nakamoto, he invented Bitcoin, and Bitcoin for working needed an infrastructure. The infrastructure received this name blockchain after the creation. It was not like idealized by Satoshi Nakamoto. Oh, I will build a blockchain. No, he built Bitcoin. Then some people started looking into the infrastructure and trying to get new use for the infrastructure of the thing without the currency. Then the term blockchain appeared. And then we started to talk about blockchain because we can build a lot of new things on using the Bitcoin blockchain or other blockchains, like it evolved and other communities created new things on top of blockchains after. So what's the blockchain? The blockchain is a transparent ledger. It stores all the registries, all the historical transactions on the structure. And one interesting thing, it's not like just a cloud computer, just one computer with a database where everything is stored. No. Entire history of Bitcoin. So it's easy to check if something was frauded or not. Because if I go to my machine and tell my machine, oh, Edilson has now Bitcoins, then when I try to send it to the network will say through consensus, well, we don't see here in all those machines, you have 10,000 Bitcoins. Just your machine is telling that. So probably you are lying. Then I'm removed. It's pretty decentralized. It's distributed and decentralized. Decentralized because it don't rely on a centralized entity for maintaining, updating information, or controlling. There is not. And it's distributed because thousands and thousands, dozens of thousands of computers around the world are talking and showing the same information. And let me see here. So that's the blockchain. Blockchain is the public ledger where all the transactions made using cryptocurrencies started with Bitcoin, and now we have thousands of other cryptocurrencies are stored. Is it clear here? I'll carry on. How it works. I try to make it easier to understand how a blockchain works. Then you can understand every blockchain, because all of them, they are similar. They are similar to what Bitcoin does, with some differences, like Ethereum. Now they are doing something different. Solana is a little different, but the basics of blockchain are almost the same. Imagine you have a pool. On that pool, the pool has a size. Then, oh, it's better. Let's think about a box, not a pool because it's too big. Let's think about a box. You have a box, a shoes box, very small. Then it's very limited in size. And you can put transactions over there up to the size of the box. So let's say here is an empty block. It's totally clear. There's no transactions over here. Then people start to do transactions. And then those transactions are going to the box. But the box is not fulfilled yet, and it's
Hi,
not
Edison.
locked. Hey.
Yes. We can't see your screen. Are you projecting anything?
You can see, oh, let me see what happened here, because I'll share my screen again. I don't know what happened. It just disconnected.
Okay,
Now,
thank you.
can you see it again?
Yes, we can see it. Thank you.
Okay, tell me if something happens again, okay, please.
Sure.
Then, okay, we have box. I'm putting the transactions in the box here. And then after putting all the transactions in the box, it will be closed with a lock. That's the operation of a miner. When we say Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies, they have miners. The miners, they are managing the block, inserting the transactions inside the block, securing the block, locking it with a hash. That hash is like the lock. Then they started a new block, a new empty block. So they get all the transactions that are in the memory, started to organize all the transactions over there, where when the block is filled with all the transactions, then they lock the block again. And one interesting thing, you can see I'm starting the new block with a small lock over here. That's the same lock they used to close the previous block. Why this is important? Now we are enchaining the blocks, starting the new one with the lock of the previous one. So all the blocks, they are connected each other with this small piece of information. And then it happens until I have the last transaction or new block, and everything is happening forever. So the lock, as I show here, it's the same lock that locked the previous block. It starts the next block, the next empty block. Is it okay? Can I go on? Any question? If you have questions, just ask, okay?
Yes. Do you have any question? Okay. We don't have any questions now. You can proceed, please.
Okay. About the consensus. So now we understood a little how a blockchain works with the transactions, the enchained transactions. We need to talk about consensus, because the consensus is the way the miners and the network decide what is the truth in this network. Because if there's no consensus or no engine or no mechanism for deciding what can be considered truth in this network, we could have a lot of fraud. And in the market right now, we have a lot of consensus mechanism. In the Bitcoin, we have the proof of work. What is the proof of work? The more computing power you have, bigger are your chances to mine a block. And why it's important? Because when you are a miner, you validated all the transactions, you created an acceptable block. The block is accepted by the network, then you are rewarded. You receive Bitcoins because you worked hard to provide security for the network. So the more computer power you have, bigger are your chances in this model, proof of work. And so you prove that you worked a lot, then you have the reward after in Bitcoin. We'll see another one, very famous, the proof of stake. That's something that was being worked for many years, and Ethereum recently changed their protocol from proof of work to proof of stake. What's the difference? In proof of work, you need to have more computer power to have more chances. In proof of stake, it's about economic power. More tokens, more coins you have on that specific network, bigger are your chances to validate a block. So it's pretty different. In the first one, you should have like a lot of machines doing a lot of computation, and computation consumes energy, and you need more computers doing the same job together to be faster. And the miners, they are competing in the network to see how is faster, and the faster one receives the reward. In proof of stake is different. It's about economic power. More money you have, bigger are your chances in the network. So they changed the format of the consensus, the mechanism of the consensus, because for sure proof of work consumes a lot of energy, but at the same time, it's helping a lot of places where uh, they are creating like excess of energy. So Bitcoin is consuming that excess of energy. Bitcoin is like avoiding the people spending wrongly, like energy, like flare. When they are extracting oil, there's some gases they are delivering to the air, and instead of putting fire on that gas to not throw it to the atmosphere, they are using Bitcoin, and instead of burning that gas, they are using that gas to generate energy to run Bitcoin miners. So they are improving, it's more sustainable. They are improving the energy creation. And in the other side, proof of stake is just about money. More money you have, bigger are chances. And you have a lot of other consensus mechanisms like federated. In federated, you define who are the leaders who will tell the rules, and others will just follow. Leader elect is the most centralized we can have, because leader elect is you just uh, elect a leader, and then that leader will tell the rules. We have some proprietary consensus. Some companies, they are building their own rules, and others. And how it works in the end, when we talk about like creating money, and let's talk about dollar, for example, we understand United States is printing all the dollars and sending to the entire world. So they are creating dollars just over there. And when we are talking about blockchain and cryptocurrencies, we are saying anyone in any place of the world are able to validate transactions in any way, in proof of stake or proof of work, and receive rewards and unlock those new coins to the world. So it's more democratic. We can handle and we can manage the money. It's more friendly. Anyone can do. Okay, sometimes it's pretty expensive to do it, but anyone can do if you have enough resources for doing that. But the important thing is, since Bitcoin was created, for the first time on the internet, the money was not created by a government or controlled by a government. And after Bitcoin, many other projects appeared, and we have some big projects like Ethereum, we have Solana, we have Polkadot, and we have others, and they are unstoppable. Being managed by communities, they are being managed by people, and the people organized by themselves to decide what could happen with that protocol. It's totally different. It's not like someone in power deciding what will happen. It's the community. They are talking together. They are talking each other. They are fighting together sometimes and fighting each other to try to reach consensus on some decisions. But it's very important to happen. It's a new thing that never happened before Bitcoin. And we have the hybrid or federated model. That's the model I told before. Like we have some clusters, and those clusters are connected to each other, like in the traditional financial system. And then some some services or points are connected to those services. So we have the federated model where just a few ones decide what will happen with the network, and then we have the other organizations or companies or communities connected to the nearest place or some place I chose, and then I am in the network. So they are pretty different. Here, it's very, very centralized. Here, it's very centralized. Here, we have the centralized model, totally decentralized. And any point can connect to any point of the net. And then we have the federated model or hybrid, where we choose a few points to be the leaders, and then we connect to those leaders, and then we are in the network. And after building Bitcoin, some people started thinking, oh, I want to do more things with Bitcoin, not just transacting, not just transferring money on the internet, because the infrastructure was so reliable, so secure, so strong, like unhackable, uncensorable. It's so strong, and so big, because the network effect of Bitcoin is huge. Then people start to think, oh, I want to run applications on that infrastructure as well. But on Bitcoin, it's pretty hard to do, because Bitcoin was built to exchange transactions. It's a transactional network. And how to do that? Then people started to look into the infrastructure to create new business models, to do financial inclusion, reducing costs on transacting, creating smart contracts, and kill the bureaucracy. Because there's a lot of countries, like I'm Brazilian. I know everything about bureaucracy, because on my country, every time we sign a document, as we sign a contract, we need to go to a notary to get a stamp on top of the signature. It's crazy. We need to go to notaries all the time. They issue certifications, and the certifications, they have expiring time. So after some time, it doesn't work anymore. We need to go to the notary, pay again, and it's expensive, and then get a new document. So bureaucracy, red tape, they are crazy. And with smart contracts, we could bypass all those bureaucracies, because we could put all the rules on the blockchain. And as the blockchain is pretty hard to change, we need consensus from the entire network and communities to change something on a blockchain. It's something writing something in the stone, because it's almost impossible to change something after storing that information on blockchain. And running computation, running programs, applications that could be stored on a blockchain would be impossible to be changed or hacked. Or hacking, we can talk about hacking after, but it's almost impossible to change what is there. If someone registered something with a flaw, with a bug, with an error, then a hacker obviously can explore that thing. But if the thing stored on a blockchain is correct, it's impossible to change. And we could have autonomous governance. And now we know, and we hear about DAOs, and we talk about DAOs in a few moments. Then in 2013, Vitalik Buterin, he started to write a paper about Ethereum, that it's a new blockchain that could run applications, not being used just for transactions, but for building applications and storing those applications on blockchain and running those applications on a blockchain on an easier way than Bitcoin. Because Bitcoin, we can run something on Bitcoin, but it's pretty hard to write the programs, the applications, and store there. Then he defined a very bad terminology for the thing, smart contracts. We know about smart contracts, but it's the worst terminology for the thing. The thing should be named DApps, decentralized applications. All the smart contracts are decentralized applications, but sometimes a decentralized application is not a smart contract. And one thing the smart contract term brought to us were like lawyers who are not in technology. They don't understand anything about technology because they think if it's something about contract, it's something I will work with. And we can build apps that lawyers will work with, but it's not always that the smart contract you need a lawyer for something. So it was with Ethereum, it was the first time that an application could manage their own financial resources. And it was like, it was huge. It was huge because before Ethereum, we should have like some fintechs, some companies working on financial systems connected to banks to receive money and manage the money through the banks. And for the first time, anyone could deploy an app that could handle their own financial resources. The app can receive money and the app can do payments by itself without intervention of a human. And it's big and for historic purpose. And it brought us a lot of potential use cases. Blockchain improves the governance of everything with efficiency. So we can track commercial flows, we can track and transport data, we can work with public records, we can register real estate, lands, vehicles, licenses, passports, IDs. We can do transfer of any property. We can work with intangibles like patents, trademarks, reservations, domain names. We can work on financials with money, stocks, loans, investments, crowdfunding without any intermediary. We can use blockchain for voting and have a very, very transparent voting on public and private voting. We can have banks. They are using private blockchains to consolidate informations, and some of them are using public blockchains to facilitate international remittances. And now we have ETFs, where banks are selling access to cryptocurrencies for other kind of investors. We can register physical objects like diamonds, paints, wood, and we can track the supply chain. You can order data, we can track the inventory, we can do many, many, many different things. And blockchain changed everything, how everything is working now. Now we understand what is a blockchain, how it works, what is about the consensus, different type of consensus. We understood the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum with smart contracts. Now we'll talk a little about scaling blockchains. Any questions about the previous part? I can take any question now. Then we move on.
Hello, does anyone have any question? Okay, please, you can continue, Edison.
Okay, if I'm going too fast as well, tell me, please, because I want to be understandable, okay?
Sure.
Okay, let's talk about scaling. We have a problem when we are scaling blockchains. Normally, blockchain can't achieve like millions and millions of users. Just can't. because for having security and decentralization, it needs to check a lot of controls to make it secure. So it makes the blockchain slower. When we are trying to scale a blockchain to be faster, we need sometimes to give up all the security or the decentralization. And that's a problem. We named it as a trilemma. They are three strong attributes at the same time. And when we have, and we are very strong in one of the attributes or two, the third one becomes weaker. And it's very strange, but it happens all the time. When we have a lot of decentralization and security, the blockchain doesn't scale. If the blockchain scale very well and it's very decentralized, the security can be compromised. It's weak. And when we have a lot of scalability and it's pretty secure, the decentralization go away. It's pretty centralized. And it's a problem we see in all the blockchains, and we can apply the trilemma to all the blockchains available. So one example, Bitcoin. Bitcoin is pretty decentralized. It's pretty secure, but it doesn't scale. Ethereum, very decentralized, very secure. They are working in the scalability of Ethereum. It's getting better. When we talk about Cardano is pretty decentralized. It's scaling very well, but the security can be compromised sometimes, and it was. And like Ripple is a very fast blockchain, very secure blockchain, but totally centralized. Just the Ripple company, they need even to allow you to participate in the network. They need to allow you on a permission list, something like that. And then, to make things more complicated now, we have a very comprehensive taxonomy on blockchain. So there are all the terms and names we have on blockchains. And after the presentation, you have a copy of this just for reference. We talk about blockchain in technology. We have first layer solutions. We have second layer solutions. We have blockchains who have like proof of work. Some blockchains are trying to work with bigger blocks. Some blockchains are using other technologies like DAG. They are trying to connect more blocks at the same time instead of one block per time. And we have protocols trying to work with sharding, like Ethereum is trying to do right now. Sharding, instead of registering all the information in just one place, they have different places, and the information is split in many different places. Then we have payment channels, we have side chains, we have a lot of terms, and a lot of things are happening in this ecosystem right now. And one interesting thing is, for each innovation, and let's say each innovation is each cryptocurrency with their own blockchain, they have their own governance and different ways of governance. On Ethereum, they have the core devs, and the core devs, they are like an elite deciding many of the things that will happen with the blockchain. And a lot of times they just applied the updates, they decided, they applied, and the network, if they want to still use Ethereum, they should update. They could not vote or decide if something could happen. On Bitcoin, the governance is different. The governance is made by the users running nodes and the miners. So when the devs decide to put something on Bitcoin code, the users will decide if they will accept the thing running that information. And then it's a kind of voting. You don't vote with your coins, but you are vote with your own nodes running on your infrastructure. And they measure if people accepted that update by running those updates, then the updates steals, all the updates are discarded. Other blockchains like Decred, they are trying a different way of governance where every change on the blockchain is proposed and the proposal is registered on a blockchain, on the blockchain. On Ethereum now they do that with smart contracts. On Decred they do differently. So if someone is proposing a change or an app update or a new feature, they propose and register that proposal on blockchain. Then the proposal is there. Then people start to vote on that proposal. If the proposal is accepted, then the developer receives money from the blockchain because it's automatic, totally automatic. They receive the money, develop the thing, and then apply. Because it was voted to run before, then the blockchain released the money to a treasury, then the developer could develop the thing. And they are trying to do that on-chain without smart contracts. On Ethereum, they are trying to do that, a same kind of thing, but using smart contracts as well. Not for the development of Ethereum, but for the development of other tools and other applications. Generations of blockchain. So I was telling a lot about blockchains, and the Bitcoin was the first generation. It was pretty obvious to us. Ethereum, the second generation, and now we have Solana, we have Polkadot, we have Cardano, we have Polygon, and even Ethereum. They did a transition from the second generation to a third generation of blockchains, and many blockchains and projects appears every day, all the time. Let's talk about Ethereum 2.0. They changed the way they were working because they started with proof of work. We are talking in the very beginning, and then they changed the way they work to proof of stake. Now, that model where with more economic resources, we have more power to vote and bigger are your chances to validate a block and get the rewards. They did the transition because of the power that Bitcoin consumes, but Bitcoin is buying the power, but okay. And there are some rules to be a validator on Ethereum. At least you need 32 ethers. That's the money, the coin of Ethereum. The coin is named Ether. So for participating in the validation on Ethereum, you should have at least 32 ethers to activate your validator. And they have some rules. Your validator should be available 24 hours a day. If it's not, you are slashed. So they started to reduce the amount of money you have there. Then it can stop validating and you need to put more money over there, for example. And the upgrades, they changed the network. So instead of one blockchain, now they work with 2 blockchains at least, and they work with many different blockchains in the future. What's happened? They discovered having just one blockchain for everything is pretty slow, like Bitcoin. We have 10 minutes for a block. On Ethereum, even 12 seconds for a block, it is slow. It's not like instantaneous. Then they changed the way Ethereum works. They built 2 blockchains. One blockchain will work just on the consensus layer, and the second one will work just on the execution of the applications. Then you can participate in both of the blockchains, and validate both of the blocks. But in one blockchain, we'll just work with the consensus. It will make sure all the transactions and applications are running smoothly and doing their correct validations and execution. And then in the execution layer, they will just execute the thing. Then it can make Ethereum faster. That's why they created the second blockchain, and then they merged the blockchain they had in the new infrastructure. So they had just one blockchain. Then at some point, they created the beacon chain that manages just the consensus. Then they are not doing that yet, but they connected the mainnet to the beacon chain. And now they are working in shards. They are making many different blockchains connected to the beacon chain. And you can have your application working in one blockchain or another blockchain inside the Ethereum infrastructure. Then it could be faster because they are different blockchains running in parallel. Like this shard 1 is one entire blockchain, the shard 2 is on one entire blockchain, and the mainnet that we know today will be in the future another shard connected to the beacon chain. Beacon chain checks the consensus rules and the shards working with the execution of applications stored on Ethereum blockchain. Let's talk about different types of blockchain here. We can have permissionless blockchains, we can have permissioned blockchains, we can have public blockchains and private blockchains. They can fit those 4 classifications. The permissionless and public blockchain, we know. The bigger one is Bitcoin, Waves, Ethereum. Yes, the biggest challenge of them is scalability and privacy, because it's open to everyone and you can see and check every transaction ever made on that blockchain. Then we have the permissioned blockchain. The permissioned blockchain, someone should allow you to participate in that blockchain. It's the case of EOS, it's the case of Ripple. They are public, but even being public, someone should allow you to participate. Then we have the private blockchains. It can be private, it's not public, it's private, but anyone can connect your machine. If you have access to that network, you connect your machine and you are part of that blockchain, like Holochain, LTO, Monet. And then the corporate side of things, because companies, they are getting everything we have open source. We have public, permissionless, and working and ran by the communities. Then they close everything in their infrastructure and sell to another companies. So big corporates, they are building a lot of closed things to sell those solutions to companies. Like IBM is doing that. Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, they are doing that. Consensus, they are doing that kind of thing. Some examples. Corda R3 is a corporate blockchain being built to work with banks. IBM is building Hyperledger. Hyperledger is a kind of blockchain. They will run on Amazon AWS or Google Cloud or Azure, Microsoft Azure. And it's pretty centralized. Many companies who says to the markets, oh, we are working with blockchain. They are working with Hyperledger, and probably they have just one instance of the node of the blockchain running in their centralized and closed infrastructure. Then they say to the public, oh, we are working with blockchain because blockchain is cool. Blockchain is on the hype. But we know it's not a blockchain. If there are no nodes and people connecting and transacting information together in that network, it's not a blockchain. It's just another computer running on a centralized cloud controlled by a company. They just changed the terminology because they are using another protocol, but it's not a blockchain in the end of the thing. And Quorum. Quorum was built by Consensus, the same company. Ethereum has two arms, one corporate arm and a foundation that works with the public and public Ethereum. The corporate arm, they are building something very closed for banks, and they released it. It's like an Ethereum, but running on closed infrastructure, on private infrastructure. The name of the blockchain is Quorum. You can have privacy on the transactions, but it's easier to achieve privacy if it's running on a closed infrastructure. And now we will talk about the use cases of blockchains. We have different use cases in many different areas. Now the presentation will become fun without a lot of new terminology and just explanation. Then something you see here now, something you probably heard about. Let's see, Lightning Network. Let me see. Here we have, just raise your hand if you heard something about Lightning Network. Let me see. Who heard about it? Raise your hand. No one. Okay. Today, we will learn about Lightning Network, I promise you. Lightning Network, since Bitcoin is hard to scale, pretty hard to scale, and sometimes it's pretty expensive to do a transaction on Bitcoin, they created an alternative network connected to Bitcoin. So you transfer the Bitcoin from the what we name it is layer 1 to the layer 2 to the other network. Then that network is fast. Instead of trying to scale the main blockchain, they are developing side chains. They are developing second layer chains that could make the transactions faster. Lightning Network is the best example we have on Bitcoin today. And that's why I asked you to install that Blink wallet in the very beginning. And Lightning Network is fast. You don't need to wait for 10 minutes to receive your Bitcoins. You can transfer Bitcoins almost in real time. One transaction will take seconds to happen. And then your Bitcoin will be in that network. And at some point, you can accumulate or store more Bitcoins over there. And not an entire Bitcoin, because an entire Bitcoin is too expensive. You can work with cents of Bitcoin. Bitcoin has 8 decimal cases. Then we can work with a small amount of that thing. We name it as sats or satoshis. Satoshi is the smaller part of the Bitcoin. So the 0.000000001, it's 1 Satoshi, the smallest part of a Bitcoin. And we can work with that small pieces named Satoshis on Lightning Network. We can use smart contracts to build autonomous objects. This case was amazing. It was built in 2016 by a company named Lockit. They built a lock that could be attached to any door, like a hotel or any door, any place. Then, instead of booking your hotel, you could talk straight to the door, to the lock. Then the lock could show you the calendar and saying the schedule and say, oh, I have those dates available to book. Then you could choose the dates, book the dates, and the money you pay the lock, you pay to the door. You send the money straight to the door. The door has the money. And then the door delivers back to you a key to open the door when you are in front of the door. Just show the key, prove you have the key, and then the door opens. Everything automatically. Then, if the lock had any issue like malfunction, stopped working, or something wrong, it could look into the market, hire a maintenance, and pay the company to do the maintenance in the lock. Because the lock was managing their own financial resources. That's the thing Ethereum brought to us. The first time an app could manage their own financials. Then this lock was a pretty huge thing they built in a lot of years ago. Arcade City, like Uber. Uber is pretty centralized. It's a huge company, a big tech. They are huge on Silicon Valley. But when they tried to go to Texas, to the entire Texas together said, and the taxi drivers, they told, no, you not steal our jobs over here, you not work. Then Uber it was hard to Uber to achieve Texas City or the Texas state in the United States. And someone over there started thinking about, oh, okay, if it's a company, there's a company behind, and the company cannot establish itself by itself in some place, and if the company was decentralized, and we could just publish the source code of everything on GitHub, for example, anyone could download and run the app with no company behind. And when the customer like call a car, hire a car, it could pay straight to the driver directly, and the driver could receive the entire money instead of like the 30% like they are charging as fees or 50% in some places. The driver could receive the entire money. And then there's no company anymore to be liable, or like if they, the problem in Texas, they can have guns in the streets. And most of the drivers, Uber drivers, they were pretty afraid of doing their jobs over there because people were crazy running with guns over there. Then Arcade City could, and it helped in that field. Theta, they are building a decentralized streaming platform. So instead of delivering your content for online presentations like Netflix, they need to they need to distribute that their videos. Google Videos, Amazon, they have to have a huge infrastructure to deliver all the videos and images and sounds and music and streaming and everything. Theta is trying to do the same on a decentralized way, ran by the community. So you could run a Theta node on your home, for example, or your data center. Then you can receive rewards for helping to distribute online content. Circle is developing a stable coin based on Ethereum. A stable coin is a cryptocurrency, but it's stable because it relies on a reserve of a currency like US dollars. So they have US dollars in the bank, and then Circle is running on Ethereum blockchain. Even NASDAQ, they are building something for stocks. Filecoin is building something for decentralizing the storage. They are like Dropbox or Google Drive, but decentralized. If you participate in the network, delivering storage space from your machine to the network, then you are rewarded with coins of that specific network for participating. So you prove you have space available and you are sharing that space available to the network, then you don't know from where, but information can be stored on your space available, encrypted for sure, and then you are rewarded. You receive money for making your space available. CBDCs, then our governments, they saw everything that's good with cryptocurrencies. It like can be transactioned on internet very fast, and it's cheap. And then our banks and our governments, they have a very, very obsolete infrastructure for running money. And some transactions around the world with fiat currency, it takes days to settle. Then the governments, they are saying, okay, we can build something digital based on what Bitcoin and Ethereum created, but we will run on our states for our citizens. So CBDCs are not stable coins because governments will just print or create money as they do today. Like China is creating and delivering a lot of yuan, digital yuans to the people. But the problem is with that, the control and your privacy goes away with the CBDC. And one example in China, that's not so democratic place. And in China, for example, they have social score. If, for example, you have some penalties or you are fined by the government, they take their money from your pockets because they control the money. They know every transaction you are doing. You have no privacy at all when we talk about CBDCs. So it's decentralized on an internal infrastructure, but just for the government, people will not have access to the transparency, and it will make it easier for the government to issue money and make it cheaper. It's hard to talk about CBDCs because they are not like, they are getting the good technology that Bitcoin and Ethereum brought to us, and they are putting on a box and doing something that could be used to control people in the future, unfortunately. Let's talk about DeFi. We are going to the end almost. We're going to DeFi. DeFi is something that was built on Ethereum first, then other blockchains are having DeFi. DeFi is decentralized finance. Bitcoin was the first decentralized finance, but Ethereum make it easier to do. So in Ethereum, we have the DAI, MakerDAO is creating a stable coin. It's not governed by a company, but by the community. Uniswap is probably one of the biggest DeFi exchange. They are decentralized exchange on Ethereum. Synthetics, they are creating synthetic tokens. So you send to them any kind of asset, and then they can create a digital version of that asset for you. So MakerDAO, they are creating DAI. DAI is pretty common on Ethereum ecosystem. Uniswap, as I was saying, the first and biggest decentralized trading protocol that was born on Ethereum, and now they are working on other platforms as well. Compound, if you have a lot of cryptocurrencies and you want to rent your cryptocurrencies, and people can loan those cryptocurrencies and then pay some fees to you after some time. And Aave is doing something similar. You can stake Lido Finance. They are being used to stake Ether. So as I said before, on Ethereum, for staking, being a validator on Ethereum, you need 32 Ethers. It's a lot. It's pretty hard. It's not for anyone having 32 Ethers. But then Lido Finance, they created a protocol, a tool, where you can put just a fraction of an ether, then they will do a batch of those ethers, and when they have the amount of 32, they open one validator. Then you can receive rewards on top of that small fraction you put in the Lido protocol. Yield farming is something when you stake your money in some protocol, they give you a new token. It's a crazy thing. It's a totally crazy thing. They give you a new token, then people get that new token, put on another platform, then the platform give to the person another new token, and the person get the token, put another platform, and they do that a lot of times. The problem is if one platform goes away, is hacked, it's broken, close, or if it's a scam, then everything burns after. Yearn Finance is a way, is a platform to make it easier to receive rewards by staking your coins in different platforms. We have identity cases. It's a pretty important vertical on blockchain field because not just about money, but it's, as I saw in the very beginning, a tree of opportunities to be built on blockchain. Identity is one of the biggest ones. We have BitNation, we have Uport, we have now the World ID, the World Chain. It's I don't have a slide over here about World ID, but it's doing their job on that field. Ion doing identity on Bitcoin blockchain. Polygon ID, it's a probably the best option we have for a blockchain identity right now, because they are not storing your information. They validate you, they don't store the information, but they issue a certificate that information was validated. And that certificate will be on your identity, on your blockchain identity. It's pretty interesting the way they are doing the thing. I like a lot of this model of Polygon ID. And now they changed the name. I don't remember, but it was last week they changed the name of from Polygon ID to another name. They did like a spin-off of the name, just to not use Polygon as a name, but a general name to be used in any kind of platform, not just on Polygon. And Originlmy, my company, we started on digital identity in 2016 in Brazil because of those guys, the notaries. Notaries, they are pretty expensive in Brazil, as I was telling you. And it takes time to validate in something or getting a certificate of something on a notary. We have queues, we have a lot of queues. And as I was telling you, this is like a real paper from a notary with stamps, a lot of stamps in each. From each notary, a person had that their signature registered. So we have at least 3 or 4 different notaries over here. And we built an entire governance platform with a decentralized ID, digital signature, signature of documents, contracts, authorizations, KYC, blockchain-enabled e-voting systems. Our tool can even authenticate and preserve evidence of defamation, fake news, harassment, or web bullying. Some company built on top of our tool something for signing public petitions. And in Brazil, 2 laws were drafted by the people, voted, then sent to the parliament, and they voted, and it was created. We can provide the proof of authenticity for web content, as I was saying, defamation, bullying, fake news, anything of bad information you see on the internet, you can preserve, authenticate on blockchain, and then have a report to be used in court cases. We built open prescription during COVID times, where you could have your prescription digitally, because in Brazil, made in Brazil, it was not possible to have a digital prescription. You should go to the clinic. Imagine the hassle during the COVID times. You should go to the clinic to get a prescription for your medicine. It was totally crazy. Then we were participating on a hackathon. We built open prescription, totally open, free for use, decentralized, where the doctor could sign the prescription, send to the patient, and the patient could deliver to the pharmacist without storing any information of the treatment the patient was taking. As was said in the presentation in the very beginning, I built a protocol, the first protocol for secret voting on public blockchains, where you can cast your vote, totally encrypted. No one can decrypt your vote, but can be validated by blockchain. It's an entire protocol that provides a very reliable way of voting. And we participated, we were like mentioned even on a UN report as a real blockchain use case doing social impact for governments and public institutions. And last year, I was invited by the Estonian government to represent them officially as an envoy. It's like a special ambassador of Estonia, talking about the e-residency and the services they provide to the world for opening companies and managing your company remotely. If you want to test some product in Europe, we can do that without leaving your country. You can just test. We can open a company digitally. You can have your account, your bank account, through a fintech, for example, and then you can start to receive money in Europe very easily, fast. And to have an idea, to open a company in Estonia using e-residency takes 15 minutes. Then you have your registration and you can start working. 15 minutes is crazy. Some of the awards, and I developed and I was awarded with a Bronze Lion in Cannes Festival with an NFT product. In Africa, some countries are developing something very interesting like Sango. It's an entire infrastructure in, I think, Central Africa Republic. They are developing Sango to accept Bitcoin and develop everything in the country using blockchain. Talking about DAOs, as I was telling you about companies that run entirely on blockchains, they have even communities. Probably you heard about Julian Assange, who was almost being deported to the United States because his platform published, as a journalist, he published something that the United States was doing very bad. Then people, to give money to help with the defense, they built a DAO, firstly with the friends, then more people start donating money, and the money was stored on blockchain. And it was crazy because no one could like use the money for other things instead of helping with the Assange defense. And now we have a lot of DAOs. We have DAOs for buying books, for buying art, for helping to produce films, for filmmaking. So it's doing like a special crowdfunding together. And they decide the rules. All the money is managed by the community on blockchain. So no one could take the money and use that money for other purposes. And then we have Metaverse. Metaverse is crazy because it's on gaming, and we have special places where we can interact with people. Facebook is building their own metaverse, but we have public metaverse being built by communities like Decentraland. or Sandbox. Roblox is a centralized company doing this thing, but Sandbox is open as well. And then you can participate, you can build your own things inside the metaverse. And it's crazy because I participated in some events inside the Decentraland with my community because I run a show, a daily show about cryptocurrencies. It runs almost in this time. And then we participated together on a fashion week event inside the Decentraland. And then you can equip your avatar with items that those items are stored on your own wallets. It's a crazy way for delivering and testing information and testing models. I learned over there some Vogue. They are building something to test fashion with the community. If the community approves the design inside the metaverse, then they create the design and the fashion piece to deliver to the market. It's a crazy way to test your products before building, factoring, or delivering it. And then we have NFTs. NFTs are pieces of collectibles, but they can represent information, certifications. They can be like your graduation certificate on blockchain. OpenSea is the biggest marketplace for NFTs we have. People are exchanging and selling crazy art over there, since music to videos and images. Crypto or something like this, CryptoPunks that were created in a few years ago, or Bored Apes, not apes, apes. And then we have CryptoKitties. We have a lot of Townstar as a game. We have battle games, X Infinities, and many different games on blockchain today. Even the source code of internet was sold as an NFT by the creator of web, the Sir Tim Berners-Lee. And Jack, the creator of Twitter, he sold the first tweet as NFT on a platform. And more about NFTs, I'll not show this video right now because it will be on the presentation. And now we are going to the end of the presentation. As I told you before, did you download the wallet? Let me know. Where my slides are? Here. Found the button.
Yes, Edilson.
Good. So that's the time. I want to share with you an experience of receiving Bitcoin through Lightning Network. So what you do right now is scanning this QR code with the cam of your phone, not with the app, with the cam. It will open a page with a QR code over there. You touch the QR code, open the QR code with the Blink app, and then receive Bitcoin instantaneously. Let's try. I built everything here connecting. Let's see if it works, because sometimes the infrastructure have some problems and doesn't work, but let's see if it works. So you can scan with the camera of your phone, go open the page, then you touch the QR code on the new page, and then open it with the Blink and tell me if it's working. If it's not working, just refresh the QR codes on your mobile. Let me know. The first time I tried this, crazy, because people should go to the panel to try to scan the thing. It was so probably you remember what the first time.
That was the 2022.
2022, yeah. The first time I did it. Now it's organized. Now probably it's organized. You work better.
Yeah.
But guys, you will have the copy of the presentation. You don't need to do this right now, but you can do that.
Did anyone get it?
Did someone got it?
So what did you get? Okay. Okay. No, so tell me.
I just need to know if it worked for someone.
Yes. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, Edilson. Yeah, I got
Mm.
1,000 SAT. That's 55 cents.
Oh, that worked. That's good. Yes, yes. It's not a lot of Bitcoin because like it's hard to spend Bitcoins, but it's something just to have the experience of receiving and exchanging Bitcoins.
Scan it with your QR code. Actually, we'll show you.
Yeah.
So does anyone else? Who else?
Yeah, firstly you scan with your camera, then it will open a
Yes.
page. In that
Yes.
page, you touch the QR code, then open with blink,
Yeah.
then receive your coins.
Yeah.
Your sites.
You get it.
So please after this one, so then
So you know.
which I'm standing here. Where will be standing?
So you with your camera.
So
No, you have to take you don't screenshot. You open your camera
yeah, I
and snap this. Then it's supposed to open a link for you.
That time I
Yeah.
start.
And it's supposed to open a link for you.
This one.
Okay. Everything. When you
Then you should
snap
be-
it,
Mhm.
okay, and you tap it, it's supposed to let you open a link. But did you download what he said you should download?
Yeah, I know.
You downloaded it. Start to let's start with it.
So the link has.
When you tap it, the link will open. Is that the link?
Yeah.
Then I open it. No, but you should snap it first. No, you didn't get. Why didn't you watch? Ask Frank to help you. So you snap it first.
Any problem there?
Snap it.
Yeah.
So when you tap it, it's supposed to open. You snap it as a picture.
Probably is my infrastructure.
No, you didn't like it. You see, when you snap it as a picture. No, you have to you snap it with your camera.
Okay.
You snapped it. Is it working for you? You snap it.
On a
Suppose-
blockchain, it's an NFT for you.
I'm using the QR. This
No, use your camera
I'll snap it like a picture.
like a picture.
Yeah.
And then it's supposed to open up. I think Frank, you have to show them how you did it. But also what happened in 2022 is happening again.
It's
hope
happening
I-
again. Okay.
Yeah.
No problem. No problem. I really tried. But okay. It's
Okay, they should go to
normal.
Google scan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Browser, we can go to Google.
Google browser.
Mhm.
type them in.
Yeah. Okay.
So Frank, please tell them how you did it.
That's so much beautiful.
Well, guys, I'll go on with the last slide,
Okay.
and then you have a copy of this presentation. You can do that
So
after,
I'll
okay?
take you guys through. But I hope you've taken a photograph of this.
Yeah.
Just take the picture of this.
Yeah, you can take a picture and open after. No problem. Yeah.
You've taken the picture. Okay.
Then I have a second one. This one, it's another QR code. It's a form for
you
Google
And
Forms.
it's
In that form, you just put your email and your Ethereum address. So if you installed MetaMask, as I asked in the beginning of the presentation,
so
you just put the address over there.
But it's telling you what to do. So Edison, can you please repeat that so that they can get you clearly? How do they get this?
Okay, this second one,
Listen to him.
this second one, it will open a Google Forms. In that Google form, you will fill with your email and your Ethereum address that you get in the app, the MetaMask you installed in the beginning of this class. Then during the weekend, I will deliver to your addresses an NFT of participation in 2024 class in the fellowship. I will deliver during the weekend. I can't do it in real time. I will get all the forms, the spreadsheet filled. Then I will deliver during the weekend for you. Okay? It's just fill the form.
And that's it.
You can see the
So the first one, the previous one is for retrieving some satoshis, some sats, and this one is for accessing the form and fill the form with your email and your Ethereum address that you get on the MetaMask app. Okay?
It will be the form.
Yeah. So the form you fill it. Then you
And you can fill up to the end of the day. You don't need to do that now.
exactly. Yes. Yeah.
I will send the NFTs during the weekend. So we will have time.
Okay. Okay.
Okay?
We have the slides available, right? So that we can do it during the break time.
Yeah, you can do it in the break time. So you have time. I'll not deliver right now. It's not real time. I'll get all the addresses during the weekend. Then I will deliver.
All right. All right. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
Then we have time for questions. I think we are almost there in the time. Then if you have questions,
all right. So
I'm here for you.
yes. Simply question time. So there's a question online. So wow. You know, I don't think we have a community online. So there was a question in the chat, but I want him to unmute and then ask you directly.
Okay, that's good.
That's okay.
Do you use like Discord or any place where the community is? I can go there. And,
it's just on Zoom, just where you are. In the Zoom chat.
Let me see in the Zoom chat with what's there. Let me see.
So I will come and ask the question. He wanted to know if you've heard of Pi, and he wanted to inquire about Pi.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity. If you can hear me.
Yes, I can.
Please, am I audible? Okay, so
please go
I was
ahead.
asking about one cryptocurrency that has been with us in Ghana here for some time now, known as Pi. So I was asking if you are aware of it and if it is yes.
I am not. I know nothing about Pi. I can do some research and send my feedback after. But right now, I never heard about Pi. I don't know what they are doing. I really don't know.
So
I'm sorry.
So if you can do yes, if you can do a search about it and then give a feedback later, I will appreciate that. And then also I was asking about as a newbie who is interested in Bitcoin, where do you advise I start from? Which of the platforms do you advise one to go onto so that one would be rightly guided in investing in Bitcoin so that one doesn't make unnecessary losses or even ending up in the hands of fraudsters or scammers, as you may like to call it. Yeah, thank you.
Got it. Well, for investing on Bitcoin, I don't recommend you trying to find the tops and the bottoms of the market. It's almost impossible. The market is very manipulated for all the cryptocurrencies. So it's critical when you are trying to invest on something and trying to just get your profits too fast. When you think about Bitcoin, we think about long term. And the best and most secure way for storing Bitcoin is doing the DCA. It's like the cost price average. What it means? Instead of looking into the price of Bitcoin, just start buying a small amount of Bitcoin in a certain period, like every 10th of month. I don't know, just one date, or each 2 weeks. I don't know, you decide based on your strategy. You buy in the same day, the same amount, without even looking into the price. Why? Because we know Bitcoin sometimes can go up a lot and can go down very fast, sometimes a lot. So if you are buying Bitcoin, or Bitcoin is the best one for doing that, you can buy every month in the same date without even looking to the price and buying the same amount. You are building a reserve working with the average of price of Bitcoin. It's the most secure way. We have examples of people doing like buying $100 every 10th of every month since 2019. And then when they look back, they have a lot of profit. So if you are looking to the charts every day, every hour, you go crazy. You will not work anymore. Will be stressed and having a burnout anytime. Instead of doing that, just make a strategy every month in the same day, buy the same amount, and don't look to the price. Don't look to the price. Forget about the price. Why? Because Bitcoin could be in the future one of the ways for preserving our freedom, our digital freedom on the internet. Then instead of looking about the price of Bitcoin, take a look in the value of Bitcoin. It's the most important way of storing value and transacting you have today. You can preserve your freedom. And if you are lucky, we can make some money in the future. So instead of looking in a short period of time, look into the long way, the long time, because in the future, as we see the past, we can look to the future. And instead of putting all of our money and doing some bets, because people are working on cryptocurrencies like they go to a casino. And many of the projects work like casinos. And we work a lot to preserve our money. We don't want to lose everything with scammers, fraudsters, and doing bets on some scammy project because we know nothing about that. Instead of doing betting on cryptocurrencies, I prefer thinking about investment and doing it on a most safer way we can. And DCA, the cost, or BCA, some people say DCA, dollar cost average, or BCA, Bitcoin cost average, buying the same amount every month. So you pay all your bills, pay everything you need to pay, do your investments on your investment you do regularly. Then with the money that's there, for a long term, then it's the most secure and safe way for doing your investment without risk of losing it on a scam project or token or NFT or something like that, because it's too easy to find scammers. 99% of the market is fulfilled with scammers. Every day they are impersonating people. Another thing, don't do investments based on influencers. For the sake of God, don't do that. Because influencers, most of the time, they are being paid to chill about some cryptocurrency. They know nothing about the market, just being paid to advertise something. And most of the projects, they are paying influencers to talk about them. They are scammy projects. They are scammers. They are fraudsters. Most of them. So don't go to influencers. Influencers are the worst way for doing something. You need to educate yourself. When you talk about cryptocurrencies, we need to learn to be responsible with our own funds, because we will store on our own funds with us. If you are just leaving our funds on exchanges, they can be hacked, they can take our money away, they can go broken, like FTX 2 years ago, and they broke the entire market with people leaving their money on FTX. So don't leave your money, your cryptocurrencies, NFTs, tokens, meme coins, Bitcoin, whatever, on exchange. They are not your friends. They are not wallets, and they are not banks. So we can't trust on them. And Bitcoin was built to give us freedom without intermediaries. But we need to have some responsibility. We need to be responsible about what we are doing with our money. That's why storing your private key is pretty important. The first thing, do backups and store your cryptocurrencies with you on your wallets. Mainly preferable without internet. Then no one can put their hands on your money anymore. That's something I can give a tip about it, because that's the only way you can have your cryptocurrency with you without losing it because it was with another person. I hope it helps.
Yeah, so thank you. Yeah, because of time, we'll take just 2 questions. And then, yeah, because our next speaker.
Hello.
All right, so please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. Please, I would like you to speak about the legitimacy of Pi. I know you've heard Pi.
In fact, he just spoke about Edilson. You just spoke about Pi. So
Yeah, I know
because of
nothing
the
about
time,
Pi.
yeah.
I will do a research,
Right,
then
just
I will
spoke
send my feedbacks about Pi to
Okay,
the
okay. So
organizers.
if you already spoken on Pi, then it's fine. But then, is there any way you can identify a fake airdrop? Like
Oh,
some of the things that you can use to identify a fake
yeah,
airdrops. All right. And if you
yeah,
have any recommendation for community and platforms that you can follow
good
us.
one,
Thank
good
you.
one. The process I do when I am doing one of the things is looking into the GitHub. I read the paper. I try to see who is behind the token launch, the airdrop, who is the team, what the team did before, like what other projects they worked on. Then one important thing about the distribution, they need to show in somewhere what about the distribution of the tokens, because most of times fake projects, they store with them, the founders, most of the tokens, and then they distribute through airdrops just a small amount. What it means, they are relying on people doing pump schemes to pump the price of token, and then make the guy a lot of the tokens, the founders, to be rich, because then they will drop all the tokens on the market, making the price drop. So who got the small amount of tokens, the price will like melt, and they will be rich because they dumped everything on top of your heads. So those are the recommendations. Look into the team, the paper, the distribution. Those 3 things help us a lot to not like put our hands on scammy or fraud things. It can help a lot. The team, the paper, and the GitHub and the and everything, and we call it tokenomics. In tokenomics, we know about the distribution, how they are distributing, how much are going to the community, how much are going to the investors, how much of the tokens are staying with the founders. Then we can have an idea with the price, how many tokens they are creating, because we have some case of airdrops, they are like dropping quadrillions. It's not even trillions of tokens, quadrillions of tokens. The price of that token will never go up like more than a cent. If it takes a cent, it's too much, because 1 cent in quadrillions, it's a much of money. It's more money than the world probably. That's impossible to happen. Then we need to take to be aware about those at least 3 things: the team, the paper, and distribution. Then those 3 things, we can identify many of scammy products in the market. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So, I am Prince, and thank you for your presentation. I would like
Thank you
to
very much for the
ask,
question.
how is it possible that an Ethereum address, like maybe a wallet address, is provided, and then someone is able to log in and view the transactions? The person can be able to see the balance remaining, and even view the hashes in the transactions and everything. And is this a security concern, or it's a normal thing? So that's
It's a
my question.
normal thing. Yeah, it's a normal thing, because everything built on Ethereum and Bitcoin is about transparency. It's hard to have a fraud where you can see everything that's happening. So that's very important sometimes, to split your resources, your assets, in different wallets, instead of accumulating everything in just one wallet. Because if someone gets the address of this one wallet where you have everything, then everything will be shown. Because blockchain, it's a characteristic of Ethereum and Bitcoin. Everything's transparent. All the transactions can be seen over there. It's important for the security of the protocol and the network, but with the hassle of that extreme transparency of invading, breaking our privacy sometimes. Then splitting the things in new wallets is a good way to go. And there are some to enable privacy, to help with the privacy, like there's some protocols now, they are sanctioned by United States. I don't know if you use that kind of tornado cash, but the best way, instead of using gimmicking some platforms and something more, just every time you are receiving a cryptocurrency, create a new wallet, give the new wallet new address to the person, and let the cryptocurrency there, because they will have access to see just in that wallet they know belong to you. If they don't know that wallet belong to you, they don't know how much resources you have over there, how much assets and what assets you have there. And then you can decide by yourself what you want to show to people and share. That's the best way. Transparency is good for security, but we have the hassle in the other side with privacy. It's true, but it's normal.
I have 2 questions. My name is Abdurrafif Sini. My first question is, how can blockchain technology ensure data integrity and security in e-governance? The second question is, what are the major challenges in implementing blockchain technology in e-governance, and how can it be overcome?
Okay, good question, good question. For the first one, about the security, to be sure the information was stored over there. As I was telling in the very beginning, everything that happens on blockchains, in the big ones, are under consensus. So every change on a blockchain should be through consensus. The entire community should vote and participate to change something. So it's hard. On Ethereum, it's hard to change something that's on a blockchain. On Bitcoin, it's hard to change something. So storing information that could not be changed anymore on blockchain makes a lot of sense. Voting on blockchain make a lot of sense because it can be transparent, showing all the voters and sessions and providing privacy in the votes themselves. Then blockchain can help with that. So blockchain can help on governance processes for tracking, like selling products, manufacturing. Think about like the supply chain of aviation. If a turbine is built on a manufacturer, the turbine should be revalidated after some hours flying. Then they sell the turbine to, they don't know what plane aircraft will be using that thing, but they can track on blockchain. If it's on blockchain, they can track it was stored, it was delivered to that company. The person who did the maintenance was registered there. The date of the maintenance was registered there. The parts of the turbine that were replaced were registered over there. So the manufacturer and even the government and the company can visualize the entire situation of each part of the turbine of the aircraft. It's very important and critical for the system to be able to see if that aircraft is flying with some revision expired, for example, because it happens a lot. We want to fly on an aircraft that is like all the maintenance is okay. And even the manufacturer, they know some parts should be replaced after an amount of hours flying. Then the manufacturer, let's say they have some insurance on that part, but the factory, they don't know if the part is flying after the expiration time, for example. On a blockchain process with governance on blockchain, they can see the factory can see that part is flying on an aircraft without maintenance. Then they can like expire or cancel the insurance contract because they didn't change or replace the thing. And the guy who does the maintenance can be registered on blockchain to know if the guy has the certifications, if he's enabled to replace that specific part of the aircraft as well. So the entirety of the process can be seen in a very transparent way when we apply blockchain to those processes. We can have it for like delivering medicine to the industry, manufacturing the medicine, sending to the government doing the distribution of the medicine to the population. They can know where that medicine is stored and if it's expired or not. And many times in Brazil, it's expired, they don't share with the population. They didn't know the medicine was stored and expired. They cannot, now they will just drop out the thing, throw out the thing. And blockchain is important on governance because it brings that transparency and the possibility to see every who did it, that where the places or parts are, in what car, aircraft, bus, truck, I don't know, ship, where it is. The insurance can be secured because of that kind of thing. And the signatures can be stored on blockchain to be visible to everyone in the entire process. So it can help in many processes in e-governance, and can be applied to almost everything, not everything, but almost everything that is digital can be stored on a blockchain and track the entire process and steps and everything happening. And blockchain is secure because it's hard to change. Anything that's started over there is almost impossible. It's like writing something on a stone, and it can change, but it needs consensus. And by consensus, we understand we need a lot of people authorizing together the change. That's the thing.
Sure.
Did I
Thank you very
answer
much.
those two questions? Okay, good.
Thank you very much, Edison. I have 3 questions. The first one is based on smart contracts. You know that smart contracts are Python codes written to achieve a particular action. So in this regard, a smart contract, a use case or a blockchain is a type of blockchain. Then the next thing is, the next question is, what are the challenges these apps are facing to achieve the 3 attributes? That's decentralization, scalability, and security. Because I believe that if we should have an app that is able to have this thing on the same scale, I'm sure that app will really be top-notch, and everybody wants to do transaction with that particular app. So in that regard, we know Web3 is being built on these blockchains. So are you saying that if you're able to achieve that attributes with regards to Web3, you'll be able to have them on the same level? Thank you.
Okay. If I understood, it's like about the reliability of or why building something on Web3 using decentralized applications is related to that, as I understood.
Yes, something like that. Yeah, it's quite tricky. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a lot of things that are being built on Web3 could be built on a centralized way. A lot. Many of the products we see on the market don't need blockchain, for real. But if you need to do something that gives your customer autonomy, where the customer is in charge, in control of their own assets, let's say a game, Web3 game. We have a lot of scam games over there, but one interesting thing that we could have, they are not doing yet, but we could have using Web3 games, collecting items. We play a lot of, well, I play, I don't know you, but I play a lot of games. I love playing games. And let's say I play Counter-Strike a lot or Valorant. And I have my skins of some weapons I like to collect. Then I can have those skins on my wallet with me. Because why it's important? Because in the future, another product, another game could use the same weapons built for the first game. Because the protocol is common for everyone. Right now, I think people are building most of the things wrongly. Because when we talk about the blockchain, we talk about interoperability. The things that work on a platform should work on another platform as well. And they should be portable, but they are not building portable things yet today. So game studios, they could do partnerships, and if you have your let's say assets, but it's your item, you have your item on your wallet, you should be able to use that item on another game from another studio if they do some partnership. It is something that blockchain allow to do. People are not doing because they are greedy, or they are just thinking on their own pockets, not using the full potential of blockchain for building Web3 things. Another idea, Web3 IDs, identity on blockchain. Why it makes sense? Let's say you are graduating on your university Instead of getting a piece of paper with your graduation certificate, the certificate, your university should issue your certificate on your identity. The place you are working should issue your position on your identity. We know LinkedIn is very easy to fraud our CVs. It's easy. I can write there. I worked with those people in that company, but I didn't. But it will be there. It's easy to fraud. Anyone can do that. With our blockchain identities, you have your graduation certificate on your identity. You have your position in the company you worked on your identity. No one can fraud that. When you are being hired by another company, you can show your credentials issued by the best validator, that the person, institution, or company who validated. You studied at university. You worked on that company. They issued the certification on your identity, started on a blockchain. Then you will carry that thing on with you, and then you can show the information you want. You can decide what information you will show because of cryptography. Then the company will be sure you worked there, you have that experience, you studied that topic. People, we're in the very beginning. People are doing a lot of wrong things on the internet yet. But using blockchain, it enabled those kind of innovations happening. They are not happening yet at the pace you would like. That's why I was telling you, Polygon ID, they rebranded now, but Polygon ID is one of the best ideas for identity on blockchain. So all those certifications on your identity, I was saying, they are NFTs. Exactly NFTs, but on your identity with you. And no one can fraud that thing. But instead of building identities, people are doing collections of Bored Apes. And they are NFTs as well. And they are profitable somehow for someone, but they are not using the full potential of a blockchain, because they are building something just to profit on top of that thing, instead of building things that could be used by people that could help the world effectively, like identities, like tracking supply chain to avoid fraud or trafficking or child work exploitation. And they could certify the companies on blockchain. So when you are buying a product, you can see and track the entire history since the production of that thing to the delivering of that thing to you. Blockchain is important to that kind of thing, because of transparency. But people prefer right now, in the very beginning, to develop something just to profit on top of it, because of speculation. People are crazy. People loves to run to some tokens or shitty airdrops, sorry for the term, but something like that, because people want money somehow. People want money, or doing money fast. People are not thinking about the long term. They are in a very short range of time. And because of that, they are building things just to be profitable instead of things that will be really useful. But as I said, we are in the very beginning. There are people building good things on Web3, good applications on identity, some interesting games happening, something on metaverse. And I was totally against the metaverses. I was against. Like, oh, another game, people are just building to do profits on top of that thing. Then I was in the Metaverse Fashion Week, crazy thing, watching a speech of the CEO of Vogue, and all saying, we are using Metaverse with our community, because instead of producing that clothes or pants or anything, and even testing the design of the thing, they send it to the community in the metaverse. If the community like the design and the thing using on their own avatars, then they start the production of the thing, because they said today they are not drawing the new fashion by hand anymore. Everything is digital. So as everything is digital, it's easy to deliver something to be tested on a metaverse where people will wear their own avatar. The validation, a very cheap validation for products for their community, for them. Then I was thinking, and I discovered participating on a metaverse, watching a speech of the CEO of Vogue and other brands, telling we are using metaverse is important to us because it makes the production cheaper and faster, with the directly validation from our customer, because they are playing with the designs we are doing, and if they like it, then we create the fashion and produce the clothes they wear.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So, Edilson, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Let me give just one word about something I did recently.
Okay.
If you're interested about Bitcoin stories, I launched, I released a book. It's on Amazon.com. It's an ebook. The name is Chronicles of Code Guardians. And in this book, I tell a lot of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies history and the importance of the communities as well. So you can find it on Amazon.com as a physical book, or the digital version on Amazon.com, or the Amazon closer to you. So it's an interesting book. I hope you like it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
the thing.
yeah. So just to let you know, just yesterday, we're having a conversation on Estonia about their yes, the e-residency. So it was so refreshing listening to you, because you mentioned it in your presentation that you have something to do with it. That's a nice one. We appreciate you. Well, I don't know about you, but most of the times, your sessions makes you feel like you are in a different world.
Yeah.
Different from what we are used to, so it's nice to always have you on. You expose us to a lot of new things. We appreciate that a lot. And then we hope that next year, because every year you come with something new. So next year, we look forward to having another insightful session with you.
Me too.
Yeah, so thank you so much. Please, let's appreciate him. He's been with us since, so this is the 5th time he's joining, and he always comes with something new. So good work with all the things that you do.
You're awesome.
Bye from us.
And
thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you for the invitation. It's my pleasure. I'm very honored of participating in these sessions with you, in these workshops, and see you next year. And if you want to talk to people in Estonia or know more about e-governance over here, I can help connecting you to the Estonian government as well, because now I am a kind of representative and I know everyone over here. And if you talk straight to the Estonian government, you can talk in behalf of my name and tell, oh, we know Edilson. Everyone knows me over here. So
that's nice. Oh, great.
Okay. See you. Bye-bye. Thank you very much. See
Bye.
you next. Have a nice weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you.